Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are finally going to talk about Trulieve stock, ticker symbol TCNNF. Everything that is going around it, their earnings, acquisitions, the scandal, the FUD, everything. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Please consider subscribing and smashing that like button since it really helps the channel out with the algorithm. Also, I have a completely free Discord group chat, which the link for that is down in the description below. Now, let's start with Trulieve. They reported a revenue of $215 million with $94.9 million in adjusted EBITDA, 550,000 patients in the US, and around 2.2 million square feet of cultivation in the United States of America. They achieved a number of firsts and record, including 14th consecutive quarter of profitability and over 500,000 customers served, became the first medical cannabis operator to start planting in West Virginia, and positions to enter their 7th state with production license approval in Georgia. Obviously, it's incredible because you guys know that I love the rapid expansion. Also, Harvest acquisition got approved and also completed the acquisition of Keystone Shops in Philadelphia, and currently they have 96 stores in the United States of America, with more stores opening in Massachusetts last week. So, as we already saw, they reported a revenue of $215 million, which is obviously incredible as it is a growth of 78% year over year and a growth of 89% in a period of 6 months in comparison to 2020. Their gross profit has certainly decreased year over year, which is not always great, from 75% to 67% this last quarter. Now, we can see that their expenses have certainly increased, but still they were able to report a net income of $40.8 million, which is a growth of 116% year over year, beating analyst expectations. Now, one of the most important things analysts were expecting to see was their revenue, as Trulieve has set high expectations for 2021. Last quarter, they said that for 2021, they were expecting a revenue of between $815 and $850 million, which would be a growth of between 86 to 62% year over year, which obviously would be huge for such company. As of now, they have reported a total revenue of $408.9 million for the first half of the year, meaning that if they continue like this, they will for sure be able to achieve their guidance. Second very important metric was their gross profit. As they continue expanding rapidly, people are scared that the gross margin will continue to fall, and it certainly did this quarter as they continue expanding beyond Florida, but still has a nice margin in my opinion. Now, on their balance sheet, we can see that they saw an increase on cash and cash equivalents since December, ended the quarter with total current assets of $442 million and total assets of $1.14 billion, all the way up from $816 million with an M, and reported total liabilities of $390 million, which obviously shows that this is very healthy balance sheet if you ask me. Now, on their cash flow statement, we can see that their cash flow from operations decreased to $40 million, but it is still positive until we see their cash from operating activities, as they are a company that spends a lot of money on purchases of property and equipment right now as they are expanding. They spent over $150 million this past quarter, and because of that, they are cash flow negative. But this has certainly brought some attention to the company for several reasons, which many see as a red flag. But we will talk about it later. Now, right now, the stock is trading at $26.65 per share with a market cap of $4.9 billion and a PE ratio of 37, but a forward PE of 18.84 and a price to sales ratio of 6.98, which I think is kind of nice for such a growth company. Now, the stock has certainly been dropping lately for several reasons, but still analysts are apparently very bullish on this stock, as they are expecting an average target price of $60.79 per share, while we can see that these others are saying saying that the stock is way undervalued as well. Now, the stock has been dropping a lot since March, but have certainly dropped even more lately because of two different issues which many of you might already know about. First of all, Burnett was found guilty of extortion, 4 other counts in a federal corruption case. He was found guilty of extortion, 2 counts of honest services, mail fraud, Travel Act, and lying to the FBI. But what does he or this case have to do with Trulieve? Well, he is Kim Rivers' Trulieve CEO husband. And I know that that does not involve Trulieve in any way. The thing is that the secret recording reveals Burnett bragging that he and a state rep tweaked criteria to stifle medical marijuana competition. During a secretly recorded 2016 conversation between JT Burnett and an undercover FBI agent, Burnett bragged about working with former state representative Halsey Barr-Shears, I think that's how you say it, to give an advantage to Burnett's then girlfriend and Besh-Shears brothers in their application to obtain one of the 5 licenses to grow and sell medical MJ in Florida, basically making it impossible for competitors to qualify for a license, which makes Trulieve the leader in the area. But let me say something here. This is not new. This has been around for years. Kim Rivers herself was not indicted, and apparently she was not under investigation during this operation, which means that the company is not in legal jeopardy. Obviously, I understand it does not look good for anybody here, but I don't think Trulieve should be touched by this or affected by any means. I understand that many are worried that this might affect the company and make them lose their license, but as of today, I think the company and Kim are clear for this. Obviously, we will keep an eye on it, but nothing to worry about right now, as Trulieve was able to prove that they went through the same application process for the license as any other company in the state of Florida. Now, the second reason is because many are saying that Trulieve is fraudulent and are not being transparent with their financials, as they are investing a lot of money into property and equipment, as we saw, which makes them have a negative cash flow. And then when we see their 10K, they report that they have no material properties. And then we see that they have $427 million in property and equipment in their balance sheet, and that they spent over $115 million in property and equipment from their cash flow statement this last quarter, which they certainly explained those $427 million come from land, buildings, furniture, and many, many more. Also, people are wondering because JT Burnett, the spouse of Kim Rivers, is a minority owner of a company called The Supplier that provides construction and related services to the company Trulieve, responsible for the construction of the company's cultivation and processing facilities on a cost-plus basis, which means that it is a little bit more expensive with them than with any other contractor. Still, the use of The Supplier, which is the company, was reviewed and approved by independent members of the Trulieve board of directors. Now, with the no material properties, it is impossible for me to know why they did not register any properties in their 10K, to be honest. I know that they explained that their property is subject to civil asset forfeiture because the cannabis industry remains illegal under US federal law. Any property owned by participants in the cannabis industry could be subject to seizure by law enforcement, and I don't know if they are basically doing something with their subsidiaries to kind of protect their properties, and that's why they are not putting those properties on the 10K. Also, there are many properties that they have bought and then sold within months or year, and then stayed leasing that property to the owner. As you can see here, in 2019, they sold a property in Massachusetts, but the company agreed to lease the same location back for cultivation. Same thing happened with Florida, so I don't know if this has to have something to do with a 10K. If you ask me, I understand that this seems to be weird, but the truth is that they reported this last quarter, and the scandal started after after JT Burnett trial. I understand that her husband is getting charged with fraud and the FBI recording is complicated, but I don't think that this will affect the company, as Kim was never under investigation and the company is not under jeopardy. On a good note, Trulieve becomes first MSO to launch clone sales in Massachusetts, opened another dispensary in Leesburg, Florida, grand opening in Worcester, and many more things that proves that the company continue expanding around the US with their newest acquisitions and growth. I believe the company is here to stay. I might be wrong, but I like their growth, their expansion, and most importantly, their profitability. And obviously, I like the industry that they are in, as I see a lot of potential in the future for this industry as well. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please smash that like button and subscribe, since it really helps the channel out. Thank you and see you next time.